They said it was just a car fire, a tragic accident, nothing more than a routine incident on the highway. But what if I told you? Ford knew exactly how those people would die, knew the precise flaw in their design, and chose to do absolutely nothing to prevent it? What if their own internal documents proved it? This isn't fiction, no made-up drama. This is the true story of the trial that ripped through corporate America, forcing them to confront their own reflection in the harsh light of justice. It's the story of the Ford Pinto. By 1977, a devastating secret that Ford had desperately tried to bury had finally escaped into the public consciousness, revealing a shocking truth about corporate priorities. A leaked internal memo laid bare their cold, calculated math. It was financially cheaper to pay out wrongful death lawsuits for victims than to implement a simple, inexpensive fix for the Pinto's dangerously flawed fuel tank design. Journalists, horrified by the revelations, quickly dubbed it Pinto madness. The public, upon learning of Ford's callous disregard for human life, was absolutely furious, demanding answers and accountability. And Ford's top brass? They remained stubbornly silent, hoping the storm would pass. But silence, especially in the face of such egregious wrongdoing, doesn't last forever. Eventually, the truth demands to be heard. Then came the landmark legal battle, Grimshaw versus Ford Motor Company, a case that would forever alter the landscape of corporate responsibility and consumer protection. It was a David and Goliath struggle, a 19-year-old burn victim, scarred but resolute, standing against the immense power and resources of a billion-dollar automotive empire, fighting for more than just compensation. For the very first time in American legal history, a jury would be tasked with the monumental decision of whether corporate profit could ever truly be valued above the sanctity of a human life, setting a precedent for future cases. Richard Grimshaw was tragically only 13 years old when the Ford Pinto he was riding in exploded in a rear-end collision. His friend, the driver, did not survive the horrific incident. Now, 6 agonizing years later, Richard, still bearing the physical and emotional scars, faced a formidable corporate army of lawyers. He wasn't fighting merely for money. He was fighting for justice, for accountability, and to ensure no one else suffered the same fate. In a shocking turn, Ford's own engineers testified under oath that they had been explicitly told not to fix the known fuel tank flaw, precisely because implementing the necessary safety improvements would hurt profits. When the jury was presented with the horrifying evidence, including photorealistic images of the charred and twisted remains of the car, some jurors were so overcome with emotion that they openly wept in the courtroom. This trial wasn't just about one tragic crash or one defective car. It was about exposing a systemic corporate culture that had chillingly learned to value cold, hard dollars over basic human decency and safety. The verdict, when it finally came, stunned the entire world. The jury awarded $2.5 million in compensatory damages to Richard Grimshaw and an unprecedented $125 million in punitive damages, the largest such award in U.S. history at that time. Ford's lawyers, predictably, called the verdict unfair and an outrage. But the public, witnessing the triumph of justice, overwhelmingly hailed it as a righteous and long overdue victory for consumer rights. And under relentless public pressure and the threat of further legal action, Ford was finally compelled to recall 1.5 million Pintos, a massive undertaking that acknowledged the severity of the defect. But for too many families, for those who had lost loved ones or suffered grievous injuries, justice, even when it finally arrived, had come tragically and irrevocably too late. If stories like this, stories of corporate accountability and the fight for justice, matter deeply to you, if you truly believe that truth should never be buried or forgotten, then please subscribe to our channel right now. Share this video widely with everyone you know, so that no one ever forgets the devastating lessons learned from how corporate greed once directly cost hundreds of innocent lives. And in the comments section below, we want to hear from you. Tell us, should corporations be held criminally charged and prosecuted when their pursuit of profit directly leads to death and injury? Your voice, your engagement, and your decision to share this story are crucial. They are what keeps this vital narrative alive and ensures its lessons are never forgotten. Think about this chilling fact for a moment. Just $11 per car. That's the incredibly small amount it would have cost Ford to implement the necessary safety modifications and make the Pinto's fuel tank safe. Instead of spending that minimal amount, they coldly calculated the value of a human life at $200,000 on a spreadsheet, deciding it was more profitable to risk lives than to fix a known defect. That calculated number didn't just lead to tragic deaths. It became a stark and enduring symbol of how easily morality, ethics, and human compassion can completely burn away in the intense heat of corporate profit. And even now, decades later, in every corporate boardroom where cost is weighed against conscience, where profits are prioritized over people, the haunting ghost of the Ford Pinto is still undeniably present, a silent warning. The Ford Pinto scandal truly changed everything. It directly led to the implementation of stronger automotive safety laws, forced countless companies to seriously confront their ethical responsibilities, and served as a powerful, painful reminder to the world that acceptable risk is never, ever acceptable when innocent human lives are tragically at stake. But the truth is, this story never truly ended. Because every single time a company cuts corners, every time silence replaces safety, every time profit is chosen over people, the ghost of the Pinto burns again, a constant, fiery reminder of past mistakes. Never, ever forget the devastating power of greed and the irreparable destruction it can wreak upon human lives and trust.